So one way or another, we end up working together with Pluto anyways. How's the new equipment fitting? It's not that much weirder than how it was before. This mission really is a weird one, Mercury. This was always the plan, you know that. The lunar gravity well is the anchor that all tidal reactors resonate with. It's how ship cells maintain their form, how colonies on other planets and orbital bases and ships maintain environments humans can survive in. Gravity in both the literal and figurative senses is required for us to live in space. Without it, we dissolve into the universe, become everything that humans aren't. There's a lot of that in the universe, if you've noticed. If we want to turn into something interesting and specific, we have to make sure that we're controlling the eversion process. Is it gonna work? Probably not. I wouldn't trust Epteus to do this right. There's nothing in it for him, so why would he care? When he lived on Earth, he had everything he wanted. He wasn't like anyone else who came to space. He's just flirting with the idea of transcending human limits for boring reasons, and only for his. There are no places left on Earth to conquer, so he wants to be the first to own the future. If this actually works, I don't want to share it with him. Oh, you don't have to worry about that. I told you I was playing this how I wanted, right? I'm not letting him have this. Ooh. I honestly forget which choice I made in my Pluto run. I honestly forget. So we're gonna do that. On the lunar South Pole, the moon's first city glitters mundanely, so ordinary. It's hard to believe it's not just another site on Earth. The Lagrange colony was destroyed. The Ares colony was stillborn. But the Earth satellite is almost as much Earth as Earth is. So we have the authority to name Earth's satellite the Moon. Part of our body, the native sphere, and not foreign, unknown Luna. Even if the space program is ended, the Moon will remain part of Earth, as it once was, before a cosmic event tore it from Earth. Reclaiming the Moon was a historically and existentially important event for all of us. Except for this impossible tower on an impossible mountain, in a point of eternal light, which is not so earthly yet. The gravity well is suspended directly above the tower's point, resonating with Earth to keep every wayward human in space grounded. The Moon has been taught almost all of the Earth's gravity, but not quite. There's still some possibility left. You're quiet. Are you up to something? What makes you say that? The tilde, but also everything else. Hey, I'm being very sneaky here. The string of pearls and crunmacula circle around the small, glimmering void of the gravity well. For all the good it might do, Celestial Mechanics and Cradle's Grace's capital ships are standing by. Just not too close. Who knows what could happen? I feel like I did pick this outcome already. I should be suspicious, shouldn't I? I think you must have some sort of evil plan. Of course. You should always be suspicious. I'm shifty. I'm here to get the upper hand. Good. That's why I'm here too. Still, I don't mind if it's your evil plan that finally succeeds, as long as it's yours. You're trying to fluster me. Try harder. I mean, it is working. I just want to get flustered more. You're in a really good mood. So I'm extra worried. More worried to be working with you than all the times fighting you. Not in a bad way, though. The gravity well is a massive engine, and it is very stable. It Destabilizing is very dangerous to everyone and everything, which is why they're opening it. De-escorting operational platforms from Cradle's Graces and Celestial Mechanics tonelessly coordinate with each other to instruct Saturn and Pluto on preparations, like exes that are forced to attend an event for their children together, because that's what they are. Now you're the one who's quiet. I was in a good mood. Did I tease you too much? Oh no, I was just remembering something. Do you remember this too? We did something like this before, a long time ago. We did? Together? I only saw you a little bit back on campus. It was a kind of weird time. You seemed really far away then. More so than now. And we weren't there that long. For the third generation, they wanted to kickstart the process, you know. Not a whole childhood of care and attention, but condensed, chemically assisted, cybernetic enhanced growth. Correction from last video, Saturn was third generation, not second generation. First generation was pure Earth kids who never quite adjusted to the freedom of space. Second generation were raised in space from the start. And the third generations were just like the emergency provisions, the lab rats, forcibly enhanced to try to catch up to the other generations, to make more pilots, essentially. They wanted us to go from nothing to perfect. I guess by that standard, we didn't fall as short as we could have. Unfolding dimensional chords. Begin torque acceleration. They were hard times. You know I was really bad at first, right? Not just terrible at all the classes, all of the tests, all of the work, but I wasn't obedient or likable either. I was super annoying. It still feels like that's me, most of the time. That can't be true. Of course it's true. I wouldn't have tried so hard if I hadn't been like that at first. When I first got here, I knew I was lucky, and should have been so much happier than I was on Earth, but everything felt wrong. It took a long time for those memories to turn happy. Containing stray particles, establishing net. It was the opposite for me. At first I loved being a science experiment, but I guess it would have been different for you. I didn't think about that. But you made it sound like we met each other before. Enabling physical canceller. Limit off. I'm good at remembering people. There's not that many of us, so it's not that hard. But I remember you. You looked like you started out perfect. You know, I was a little jealous of you. I'm not surprised you don't remember the one thing we did together. Everyone was there. We were just thinking about what happened, and not anything else. Oh, you're talking about... yeah, that. We were all there, so of course you were there. I didn't think about that either. Nyx, Septeus, and Europa all wanted the space program to justify its existence. Earth didn't agree. The alien threat that we defeated with such ease wasn't even worth it. Just a shadow created by waves of humanity in space. A color and a light that fought us and never came into focus. So they had us all come together over the gravity well, just like this, to see if we could pull whatever they were more fully into our universe. And then it went so wrong. That was when the space program really ended, wasn't it? We never should have done it. It was risky, and no one knew what they were doing, and everyone was desperate. I don't know. Maybe Neath doesn't feel the same way. I started out thinking that That was the same option I picked on Pluto's path, but no! This is different. A tiny point of glimmering darkness in the gravity well just sometimes shines in such a way that for a moment it seems like there's something inside it. I hope that's true. I want to believe it. I can't blame them for what happened, though, either way. Huh. Really, though? What do you mean, can't blame them? I mean, they were the one who gave in, right? When most people talk about what Neith did, or what happened when they turned inside out in the light of the gravity well, was as if that was a horrible accident. Not something they did on purpose. Why do you talk about it like that? I just have this feeling. I didn't really know Neith at all. No, maybe I should just be honest. For a second, I was thinking the same thing. What if I jump in? I thought the same thing. We could have been like them. During the testing, when we saw the gravity well opening before us, we could have jumped in too if we wanted to. It was scary. It was. But a lot of us looked at that, and after we thought, us too. And that was how Celestial Mechanics was born. That's the truth. Whatever Apteus really wants aside, we have our own ideas. That's amazing. I couldn't be so brave. When Earth looked at what emerged, they were filled with despair. So that's how I decided to feel too. After all, it was proof that the existential threat was the same thing it's always been. The same thing we've been fighting as long as the humans have been humans. The shadow of possibility cast by us. The not quite there aliens we had fought for so long were just caused by our own ripples in space-time. We only had ourselves to lose, and nothing to gain by fighting them. Where Neith went, and what they became, only Venus knows. Venus, or the Venus that we know. From We Know the Devil. Probably not, but the actual planet Venus. What did you really feel at that moment, before you told yourself otherwise? I'll tell you how I felt. I felt smug. I mean, I did everything right, and that loser messed it up. When I learned it was the end of the program, I was mad. But when they demoted me from piloting anyway, I realized I was the fool. It was an important lesson on not being a good girl. Stabilizing reaction. Synchronicity perfect. Hold until stable. I feel like I know you a little better now, Saturn. Me too. In a new kind of way. Now you, what did you really feel? Oh, the gravity well opens. The reactor is turned inside out, from shining white to infinite black, drawing in all that is and emitting all that isn't, yet. But with gravity itself, the weight we have in the universe, that alone is all we need to touch. Oh, there you are. I knew we'd only get a moment to touch. Do you, maybe, think sometimes of falling in? Even you? You must have thought about it. Core resonance in perfect condition. Ready for full release. Gravity well unbound. All stability checks nominal. Here it comes. Back then, I almost did jump in. I thought about it before it was happening, when they said you must not, under any circumstances. It would make anything I couldn't do possible if I left everything I had behind. It's an awful paradox of a deal, but I wanted to do it so much I would have if Neith hadn't wanted it 1 second more. I've never told anyone that. You're really good at seducing people, Saturn. If If I gave you the chance to fall in again, would you? Would you fall in with me? Oh, just you wait and see. The gravity well shines. It is collapsing into a star. Everything is starting. The opening was peaceful, perfect, no problems. Yet there's a feeling, like the fluttering of wings deep down. Day 9. I'm starting to feel like we are heading towards a different conclusion than the Cradle's Grace's route, Pluto's route. Because if I remember correctly, Eptaeus' plan was to shut down was it Eptaeus or was it Nyx who had planned to just break the gravity on Earth to force them to come into space? Well then, I'm quite impressed. You don't even sound surprised with how much I fucked everything up. I thought I'd get to see you surprised for once. If you had this much faith in me, you shouldn't have got so mad. I wouldn't be respecting you very much if I wasn't prepared with contingency plans. But I'm delighted to not need them. I thought so. Did you think you knew everything? Oh. Good to see you're understanding the fallibility of your superiors. Now I understand it's because you just don't have any experience not getting what you want. And you always are sure deep down it'll turn out for you. You wound me. I'm no stranger to not getting what I want. The world would be a very different place if I did. No, Eptaeus. Not even close. You've never even come close to not getting what you want, like I have. Forgive me then. If you put it like that, I'm certainly much closer than you. But that's the reason for this arrangement, of course. You will all get the bodies you wanted so much. And Earth will have the villain it desires. Ah, so you are that clever. What of it? It's still a mutually beneficial scenario. You and humanity will be so different from each other that you could not possibly understand or communicate with each other. Man. It was Nyx. That was Nyx's plan. To destabilize the gravity of Earth. I have a feeling this ending scenario might be similar in execution, but with different resolution. Since, in Saturn's case, we're getting obvious teasing at a desire to jump into the gravity well and avert. The story of Neith, all of this. Both sides can fight each other with abandon until the end of time and never hurt those they love. You will have yours, we will have ours. You have no intention of joining us in that fight. If you have the will to abandon your own humanity, then abandoning the rest of the human race, who never cared for you in the slightest, should be trivial. Ah, you don't know how relieved that makes me to hear. You really don't understand. Whether it's spite or love. No way I'm not sharing this gift. Oh boy. The fleets crash, ship self against ship self. In the shadow of the gravity well, none of it is visible from Earth. A quiet conflict, not a war, as had been stressed. It's more like a very pointed argument. It could be a conversation, if only they understood each other. And sometimes they do. It could be kissing if they loved each other. And sometimes they do. With the gravity well open, unrestrained, they fight weightlessly, under the full weight of their own gravity alone. A truer way to fight than anyone has experienced before. To fight with one's own self, and the full weight of one's gravity, and the hollow weight of inverse, is the only time this will be possible. Our true power, unrestrained. Celestial Mechanics simply takes advantage when no one else is looking. Celestial Mechanics made no plans to win. After all, there's no way to win in this sort of conflict. The winner only has to prove a point. The way that Celestial Mechanics accomplishes this is simple. True to themselves, without the weight of gravity tying them to Earth, tying them to orbit, holding them in their human forms, what happens next is the natural result. And that's what proves their point. It's immediately clear anything's wrong. It happens naturally, as a consequence of truly unrestrained conflict. Each one climbing to the top, seeing how far their limits are, and realizing, suddenly, there aren't any. When the first pilot sends her reactor's limits past the theoretically possible range, her reactor reverts. What existed deep inside is now the face she wears. A perfect, unbelievably true self, so true that it cannot exist even in orbit. Until she's joined by another, and another. In unison, their gravity holds them together. Oh, good job, Saturn. There's the asshole. It's exactly how I imagined. Not having second thoughts, are you? It's everything you wanted. And it will be good for Earth as well. Your infection of the gravity well was perfect. And you will successfully fuse with your ship self, just like you wanted. It's for our happiness too, of course. Humans will get to live as humans, aliens as aliens, as enemies mutually agreed upon, with no possibility of communication or reconciliation, and no conflict or guilt on our own sides. Humanity shouldn't externalize all of their problems, but I think we can still manage progression with most of them. With your hands already sunk into the gravity well, I should tell you it's technically too late. Things will take care of themselves from here. And thanks to your actions, I have had more than enough time to prepare for re-entry. I knew it would be that easy for you to ditch us. Not so. I still find you all so fascinating, leading such beautiful lives. I have regrets, of course, but I have a real world to get back to. I'm not having regrets either. I'm only mad about how much you're underestimating me. Because you think I'm satisfied only getting what I want, and not greedy enough for more. Uh-oh. Whoa! Saturn breaks apart her circuits, and the eversion starts immediately. She can feel the gravity well pulling her inside out. The secret within humans to be pulled to the fore. She needs it, but not just yet. I wonder what it is you think you can do at this point. You've already conceded. Unless you're hoping for some reconciliation between humanity and the alien. That is, by definition, impossible. It must not be too impossible, or you wouldn't be training all your weapons on me. Well, I am impressed, because I finally have no idea what it is you are doing. But just because I don't understand doesn't mean I'm not going to prevent it. You have no understanding of what the violence of actual combat is like under Earth's authority. Apteus's Roncevaux Terra is equipped with certain features that allow it to divide and categorize. It's an abstract ability with a lot of applications, sophisticated and sinister, and the warrant of Earth itself behind it. So Luna Terra figures the best solution is to just shoot him. A lot. Quite a bit. Oh, it's honestly a very good solution. Apteus buckles. Whatever thing he thought he was doing, he isn't. Huh. Easy. That's because the hard part is coming next. Promise? Ha! You say that now. But thanks for going along, even though I didn't tell you anything. I know how to make the best of a bad ending. Hey, it's not anything worse than whatever you had planned, probably. So help me make it the best bad end we can find. Pay attention or die. The intent is lethal and simple, but the weight is not heavy enough to kill. A string of pearls tears a hot pink scar through space-time. His bullets can go there. You can come close enough to talk to me. You can come close enough to kill me. But I don't want either. I want to never see or know you throughout space and time. Indeed. So complete the transition. If you remain human, you'll die. I can ensure it. The autonomous military units come to his aid. Oh shit. But their sensors are off. Their movements are slow. Human gravity is losing its authority here, and their tools are useless. I could seriously, really use a little bit of help here. Well, if you're actually asking, hey! Pluto unfolds the rhythm. She decodes the sequence. Plates shift, engines hum, her eyes open. Hello there, little man. Meet the Crun Macula. So she opens up her eye, her other, biggest eye. Big enough to swallow it whole. And then she blinks and swallows. Aha! She's got hungry eyes. Hungry eyes. Pluto's hands hold Saturn's tightly. I thought you promised me no bad endings? That's what I'm trying. It might really be working. This already feels so too good. I really know what you mean. Yeah, I really know what you mean now. Do you have an answer? I'm sorta counting on you for it. You think I know how to find the good future in all this? Well, you're a good person. I need you to be the one not just thinking just about us, but the humans left behind too. You think you wouldn't? I think you think too much of me, and too little of yourself. Apteus has an answer. This story ends when the weapon that is designed without exception to kill does so, and forces a choice between one of two sides, human or alien, two distinct and incompatible worlds. The mathematical model needs to be perfect. It needs to allow for exchanges of matter, light, information, without allowing for understanding or communication. It's an extremely easy calculation to create. It's the oldest narrative there is. It's the one that Earth has told again and again and again. Apteus has an extensive library to draw from, starting from the first moment humans separated light from dark. There is a way, and fuck off with this. We don't want it. Saturn throws that narration out. Why should it work like that? Why not make up something different? Who says physics should work this way? Who says the calculations should turn out this way? Apteus wants us to take the fall. For everyone. For the Earth. For us to scapegoat each other. I hate that. If our cores collapse, a world where anything is possible arises. At the same time, we will have closed off all the possibilities that make us human. The existential threat we always feared and hoped to unite us will be real. And then they'll finally have a real war. I want all of that, but I just want to add a little tiny bit extra to it. Apteus wants to reduce the only information it will be possible to exchange between us to violence. But you want for something different to be exchanged. So that we can't hurt each other, but that we can something else with each other? It'll have to be very small and very imprecise. At least it'll be something different, you know? There's no chance of going back to being human. Not zero chance. Although we won't even remember what being human is, so it's pretty low, I guess. That's good enough for me. Let's hope it's good enough for us all. There's no limit to how big we can get. Size is a funny dream. It's relative. It doesn't have to matter anymore. It can be set like any other variable. As the gravity well draws matter toward it, and even light, it emits it emits a not energy, a not light, that can perfectly make up a body just as well as all that. Big enough to be equal to the Earth. Big and close enough to compete with the Moon. To anchor in space and time the equal division between us. To be a new and separate world. The autonomous units are single vectors, prepared for human violence, and we can't be cheated like that anymore. Only sad humans can have their gravitational impression in the universe terminated by the extinguishing of their bodies. They have to fight us on our terms if they want to get rid of us now. The way humans should fight, with no fear of ending. The consequences will be unimaginable. We aren't going to have selves or consciousness like we're used to having. That's what it means to give up humanity. We won't know who we are, and we might not understand or grasp each other anymore. That's true. We might not know how true that is. It's so true. The final mystery of what is human, what is alien, ever shifting, for all ground reclaimed by humans lost to them. Humans have a lot. We'd only be able to imagine what it was like to be them. Hey, it's not all bad though. Don't overestimate the human race. Do the math. If we lose how humans love each other, do you think there's ways to love each other that humans don't know yet? Do they really know every way there is to touch and to know each other? Or is there still much more to learn too? Maybe we're only scratching the surface. There are many routes. We won't understand each other in the same ways. We'll understand each other in the ways we never could. And we will now write a new story, with our gravity, a new world. As we leave the level existence he exists on engaging us at, our tides push back. And Earth's tides, as we leave the level existence he insists on engaging us at, our tides push back, and Earth's tides, which no longer bind us, insist on him. What are you doing, hypocrite? You want to fight in the realm of heaven? Your place is on Earth. That's only to wonder at now. The story's ending twists. We are far away, another space and time. Watch us in the sky, but never touch. Until you find your answer on Earth, you'll never touch heaven. You know, no matter how bad you are at being human, there's no other way to be. It's really disappointing, but it's simply true. We just can't think in any other terms. You can say you want to not be human. Can you actually make it happen? Forget even how to logistically, technically, philosophically make it happen. How do you blueprint it in the first place? Every time we try to imagine an alien, in the end it's just ourselves from a different angle. Because all we have are human things. The ambition to assemble them in an order that's alien to us is kinda inherently doomed. That doesn't mean it's useless. Imagining that which is human, that humans are not. When I say I don't want to be human, what I really mean is, I can't stand being human like this. Emphasis on like this. What I want instead is to be human like that. That was the beginning of the space dream. Everyone in the Memorial Foundation felt that way when they sent us here. And everyone on Earth who believed in us felt the same way. Let's be more human. How much more human can we be? That faith waned. It may be because they were jealous. Yet maybe also because the direction we were taking the future wasn't enough. Just another human they didn't want to be. Or a sort of human that they're scared of being. don't owe them anything, but there's one more thing I can't stand. Not being seen for what I am. So choose to come with us, or choose to stay. But I won't be happy without them knowing what they're missing out on. Look up in the sky and see all the weird stuff we get to do with each other. And come join! Reactor collapse. Eversion event. The impulse, always deep and always lurking, to turn inside out. Everything has reversed. Nothing is the same. Giving up everything that isn't real for everything that is. So now they can't touch each other, can't lie in bed with each other, can't get legs entangled with each other. Instead, they have ways of physically interfacing that aren't like anything we could imagine. Clouds of particles drift into each other. Maybe they touch through each other instead of just on the surface. It'd be in a cold and gentle way, like through a ghost. Maybe a warm and gross way, like reaching into guts. Smiles communicated in physical light, an embrace of psychedelic mind matter. Lazy sex in a morning bed, as if the bed is curvature of space-time, and sex is something so obscene it would make your mind implode to consider it. The ship self fused to the hide, the gravity reactor to the flesh, because humans have sciences to distinguish the differences between those things, and these new aliens don't. They won't have arts or sciences. They won't know what the differences are, and they won't know what they mean. They will understand the difference between many other kinds of things that we do not understand. A real hero would have turned out differently. But that's not who we are. Our ships have mouths now, and they open, and they can scream. There can be sound in space. Now our vibrations can touch the things that aren't there. Humans know it's time to flee. The threat from within is now without, as they desired. The moon is no longer hospitable, as alien and mysterious as it was long before it was possible to reach it. Can't speak or write, has many other ways of communicating information. Can't use the old senses, has new organs for it now. Can't love in the old ways. There are new ways of having that too. Laying together in the stars, we can do that now. Metaphor translates. That's what this is, indisputably. Everyone is invited who wants to become a world and never touch Earth. That's a different world now. Their strange intimacy can touch us even now, longing to teach us and tell us what they've learned, what they share, laughing without laughing with each other even now. They are so far away, they cannot even be our enemies, but they will break our hearts. It's a lovely night tonight, perfect, not for stargazing, because the light of the trinary system outshines them by far. But it's a perfect night to watch the three of them. Look, there's Lunaterra, the 2-in-1, rising almost to full. She almost outshines the moon, a bridge between the Earth and the moon no one can cross. That is literally her name, Lunaterra, a bridge between the Earth and the moon that no one can cross. The nebula cloud of Pluto is a shimmering, benevolent mystery, swallowing an eighth of the sky in a permanent sort of twilight. And the glittering twinkle of Saturn that tricks the edge of your sight, this way and that, always seeming to be in the corner of your eye, but hard to see directly, making the boundaries of your heart and mind ever so thin. We lay out our blankets and watch until someone catches us, and we run. But it's all fun and games. Until that day comes, they're waiting for us always. They just need 1 or 3 to reach out to them again, even if it's just to fight, to touch them once again. The new planets. The necklace of storms. Wow. that outcome was very different. I know the missions leading up to it are pretty much the same across the board, but that outcome was way different than I was expecting. Although, I mean, in the final day, it was different enough, and they were dropping hints about what the actual goal of Saturn's route was. Getting the most blatant toward the very end here. With I mean, Apteus' plan was pretty clear, just in the lore dropped between days on Pluto's route. I just think it's... I just like how they managed to take Apteus' plan. Apteus being pretty much a scumbag who never wanted to actually go through with this himself. He just wanted everyone else to go through with it. Because his mission was to make a new enemy for Earth to fight. Literally, despite all the shit that we went through, Saturn and Mercury, as a part of celestial mechanics, in the pilot training program, everything with Apteus himself, the utter scumbag. With Saturn and Mercury still stuck around because the promise of getting a new body, a new way to live, a new humanity of sorts, coming from a planet that essentially tossed them aside. They wanted something new, something better. And Apteus wanted to give that to them, to make them the enemies, to force Earth to unite, to fight them. But number one, best thing about that ending was seeing Apteus get utterly fucking owned. Just... we're not sure what he's doing, so Lunaterra figured that the best plan was to just shoot him a lot. It was. It was a very effective plan. And then Pluto showed up, and then just Grun Macula just had a little snack, and then he was gone. That was satisfying. Just the way they salvaged that. Becoming something more. Specifically recognizing that Apteus only wanted them to be able to communicate with humans through violence, but they wanted something more than that, a higher form of communication. So, what they became is just utterly fascinating. Looked like at the very end there, they literally became almost constellations in the sky. Just heavenly bodies. Leaving their earthly forms behind to become something more. Just something completely different. Something wonderful. Just, my God, I've really enjoyed this rap. That was amazing. That was just. Thank you so much. See you next time.